Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome to This is Football. Welcome to another daily transfer news stream, ladies and gentlemen, slash rant, slash whatever you want to talk about, today, because there's a lot for us to unpack. And I come here, to be honest with you, I want to unpack a lot of situations that's happened over the Euros and over all this period with transfers, with everything. So make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to This is Football if you're ready to do so. Every single one of you guys right now, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to This is Football if you're ready to do so. Shout out to Mo for the redirect. Big up to him. All the people who just locked in from Footy Judge Mo's stream, or people watching this on the replay, as you walk in here, I want you to hit the like. I want you to subscribe. So this is you watching us. I just want you to hit this X button, hit this like button right here. See, 91 people. Let's get the likes up right now to 100 likes ASAP. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And today's one I want you to share as well. I want you to share today's one as well, because there's a lot for me to talk about. I'm going to unpack that fraud in a waistcoat, because today there's a lot for us to talk about. So, first and foremost, as per usual on the daily transfer news stream, what we usually do is I actually put the overlay on the screen and I let you guys decide who we're going to start with. But this time I'm pulling rank. I'm actually going to decide what we start with. And I've decided to start with Southgate and the Euros, kind of just to wrap up the whole conversation with it. So I want to start over there before we get into the transfer news and all of that stuff. And it's time for someone to speak the truth. It's time for someone to speak the truth on this crap manager, on this fraudulent, lucky, jammy, dodgy piece of crap. It's time for someone to just say the truth, because I'm bored. Because I'm bored of it. Every single fan is doing club agendas. The Liverpool fans are saying Trent should have started. The Arsenal fans are saying Saga played better than Foden. The City fans are busy defending their boys. Everyone is just defending everyone. First and foremost, by the way, the Euros is over. We're back to transfer news. We're back to talking Premier League related stuff. So big up for that. Second of all, thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who supported us in the month of June and the month of July. It was very difficult months in terms of it wasn't really the numbers that we usually get, as you guys know, but it wasn't about the numbers because you guys made the experience worth it. So I want to thank you guys. Big up every person who super chatted, everyone who liked, everyone who subscribed, everyone who shared the video. Thank you to every single one of you. I love and appreciate every single person, whether it was just a like, just a share, just a subscribe, any super chat, regardless of amount. I love you all. Big up to everyone who spends their hard-earned money supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. Now, Euros. It's very interesting that instead of us just sitting here and doing club agendas, let's actually analyze what the hell happened in England. Because this is the real question here. This is actually genuinely the real question. Context is everything. Context is king when it comes to football. Only a dumbass will come here and say, Steven Gerrard didn't win a Premier League, so he's not one of the greatest midfielders. That's what a dumbass says. Context. Did Gerrard ever have a better team than anyone that won the league against him? The answer is no. And football is not an individual sport. It's a team sport. Now, you look at the English squad. I genuinely do not believe there is a better squad than England in the entirety of the Euros other than France. Some people will say Portugal, but I even disagree with that. I actually think England have a better squad than Portugal. Player of the season in the English Premier League. Player of the season in La Liga. Bundesliga, 36 goals, top goal scorer. And yet, what did they accomplish? What did the English national team do that a France or a Portugal or a Germany or a Netherlands wouldn't do, having faced the teams that they faced? Context is king in football, ladies and gentlemen. Who did England beat this tournament? Serbia, drew with Denmark, drew with Slovenia, needed a 90th minute winner to beat Slovakia, beat Switzerland on penalties, needed a 90th minute winner to beat Netherlands, and then they come to the final, and then they have 30% possession. 30% possession. Guys, let's think about this. 30% possession is what you expect Luton to have against Liverpool. 30% possession is what you expect Brentford to have against Man City. Is the difference between England and Spain 30 to 70? No, it's not. And I'm going to take this a step further. Everyone in the chat, I want you involved right now. On paper, just strictly on paper, forget performances, this competition, because this comes from the manager. On paper, which Spanish players actually start for England? I want everyone in the chat to be honest with me right now. On paper, which Spanish players actually start for England? Think about it. Rodri starts for England. Carvajal starts for England. Lamine Yamal starts for England. And I'd say, if we're going on paper, Unai Simon starts for England, as he's a better keeper, if you would like, than Pickford. That's it. Is anyone here taking Laporte and, what's the name of the guy that plays for Bilbao? Lenormand over Stones and Guehi? No. On paper, is anyone taking Shaw over Cucurella over Shaw? No. Is anyone taking Ruiz or Olmo? Forget their performances this Euro. I'm saying on paper. Over Rice and Bellingham and Foden? No. Are you taking Saka or Nico Williams? You're taking Saka. Are you taking Harry Kane or are you taking Alvaro Morata? You're taking Harry Kane. And this is the problem with the English national team. And this is exactly why England absolutely suck the manager. Gareth Southgate is the biggest culprit as to why England are here, and he must resign, and he must have his job taken away from him, because at some point in time you have to deliver. I was watching Shark Tank the other day, and Mark Cuban said something. The problem with tech products is they keep promising you and they never deliver, because at some point in time you have to deliver. Southgate gets you almost there. Almost there. And then when it's time to deliver, he does not deliver. Never delivers. And that's just the truth of the situation. You want to hear Gareth Southgate's biggest problem? I'll tell you Gareth Southgate's biggest problem right now, and I said it from day one. Gareth Southgate never brings his weapons to the table. Bring your weapons to the table. If you've got a shotgun and an AK and a gun and an RPG in Call of Duty and you run around with a knife, you are gonna end up getting killed. And this is exactly what happened with Gareth Southgate. He never brought his weapons to the table. Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of the most creative players in world football, benched for defensive Kyle Walker, who conceded 2 goals in the final down his side. Joe Gomez played all year long as left back. He decides to bench him for Kieran Trippier, giving no balance to the team whatsoever. Shoehorning all these players in the same team without any regard for balance whatsoever. Cole Palmer, the most GA out of any winger in the Premier League this season, benched for the whole competition. Harry Kane playing DM next to Declan Rice, even though he's supposed to be the striker. Anthony Gordon, all the goals, all the assists, all the cooking he done at Newcastle this season, doesn't even get a sniff. doesn't even get a sniff. You have to bring your weapons to the table and you have to fight. The problem is he never fought. The same idiots who come here and tell me that Kyle Walker is better than Trent defensively have now disappeared. 2 goals conceded down his side. The most overrated player in the Premier League right now. Pace merchant, nothing but pace and power. But instead of going with Trent, you go with Kyle Walker because he's better defensively, and then he concedes 2 goals down his side. You absolute idiot. You absolute clown. You bum. Instead of having some cojones and dropping Phil Foden for Cole Palmer, you go with Phil Foden again. And it's funny because City fans, yesterday on Al Ahwa accused us of having a Foden agenda. It's funny because the Chelsea think I have an agenda against them, yet I'm the one asking for Cole Palmer to start ahead of Foden. So where's the agenda? I was the one asking for Cole Palmer to start ahead of Phil Foden. So where exactly is the agenda in all of this? Where is the agenda? Where is the narrative? That's the $1 million question. Because City fans think I hate them. The Chelsea fans think I hate them. Well, I'm asking for Palmer to start ahead of Foden. So you both can't be telling the truth. But once again, who do people come for? Bukayo Saka, Kobe Mainu, never blaming the people that deserve to get blamed. You want to know who I actually think has been the worst player for England this whole competition? Kyle Walker. I genuinely believe Kyle Walker has been England's worst player this whole competition. He got cooked all game long against Slovakia. 2 goals conceded down his side in the final against Spain. And on top of that, you will still see people tell you that Trent Alexander-Arnold should be benched for Kyle Walker because Kyle Walker is better defensively. And that just proves everything about the pathetic mentality of an England fan. You want to hear who the second worst player for me is? Phil Foden. And I'm going to defend Bellingham here. And I'll tell you why I'll defend Bellingham. I agree that Jude Bellingham didn't have the best of tournaments. However, at least he gave England 2 moments. At least he gave England 2 moments. Yes, he's been shit. Yes, he's been crap. Yes, he hasn't delivered. However, at least he gave England 2 moments. Scored a goal against Slovakia, scored a goal against Serbia, got an assist in the final. He done something, even though he never played as the best. Phil Foden, the whole competition, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 moments, 0 creativity. Give me one reason why Phil Foden should have started that final ahead of Cole Palmer. Tell me. Tell me one good reason. Because people are talking about Saka. It's not even Saka. Because Saka, to be honest, has actually been one of the better players for England. He's actually been one of the better players for England. Tell me why Phil Foden should start ahead of Cole Palmer. Explain it to me. Give me one valid reason why that should happen. Nothing short of a tragic tournament for Philip Foden. And that's just the reality of the situation. People are quick to make it a Saka and Palmer conversation, but it's not Saka Palmer because they both should be in the team. And you saw what happened when that triangle formulated. You know what that triangle was missing? A right back who can actually cook. That's what the triangle was missing. A right back who can actually cook. But Southgate is a coward. You want to know who my team would be for England? I'll tell you who. Pickford, Trent, Stones and Guehi. Left back, Luke Shaw. In midfield, I'd go Rice. I'd go Jude. I'd go Palmer in the 10. I'd go down the left-hand side, Anthony Gordon. Down the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. And up top, I'd go with Ivan Toney. Problem solved. Euro champions. Just like that. You know the difference between my team and Southgate's team? I can keep the ball. I can keep possession. I can attack. I can create. I'm dangerous. And this is the difference. But that coward, 30% possession. 30% possession. 3-0. 30% possession. By the way, it wasn't 30% possession against Xavi and Iniesta. It was 30% possession against Zubimendi, Fabian Ruiz. It was 30% possession against Fabian Ruiz and Zubimendi. That's who the 30% possession was against. And that tells you all you need to know about the system and the style. And that's exactly why Gareth Southgate must be sacked, and he must be sacked now. And can I remind the people of something? Rodri came off at the start of the second half. Pedri wasn't even fit. They actually lost to a bunch of Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao players. They lost to Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao. Who in the team was was a player for a great team, or like an unbelievable team? You could say Carvajal plays for Real Madrid, and Nacho. But other than that, think about it. Unai Simon, Cucurella, who actually 3/4 of the Chelsea fan base themselves don't like. Think about who you lost to yesterday. Oyarzabal, Mikel Merino, Zubimendi, Fabian Ruiz. And by the way, the center back doesn't even start for Real Madrid. He starts for Real Madrid only when Rudiger and Militao get injured. And now he's playing for a team in the Saudi League. Speaking of Saudi League, the other center back, Aymeric Laporte, plays for Al Nassr. This is who you lost to. This is actually who you lost to. You did not lose to a team that's even significantly better than you on paper. Who's the Spanish superstar? Name a player in Spain that's a superstar. Who you can say? Rodri? No problem. I'll give you Rodri. Who else in the Spanish team is a superstar? Not star, not player in the making, not youngster, not a kid on the rise. Tell me who is the superstar. I'm saying superstar. Yamal is not a superstar yet. That one has to wait. Superstar. Who? Rodri? Who's a superstar on England? Kane's a superstar. Bellingham is a superstar. Foden is a superstar. That alone. Superstar players got shat on and dunked on by Fabian Ruiz and Zubimendi. That tells you all you need to know. And you want to know the difference? De La Fuente brought his weapons to the table. He played Dani Olmo in midfield. He went all out. He brought his weapons to the table. You know what Southgate did? 30% possession. And if Southgate ain't sacked, and I hear anyone telling me that England are favorites for any competition, or England should be nominated for any competition, I'm just going to laugh in your face. And listen, on that note, we move away from Southgate. We move away from the Euros topics, because we finally can be done with the Euros and all that stuff, because I do want to talk about transfers. I do want to talk about all that stuff. So yeah, make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Big up every single super chatter. I appreciate everyone who's shown us love on the channel. Love to all of you guys. Let's get to 200 likes. How many likes are we on? How many likes are we on? We're only at 125 likes. Let's get to 200 ASAP. Big up to everyone who supports the channel. Like the video, subscribe to This Is Football. Show us the love and support as per usual, Habibis. What does this guy want? When we went 1-1, he was about to bring on Gallagher. Yeah, that just tells you everything about the mindset of Gareth Southgate. But anyway, I want to move on to transfers. So like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Big up to everyone who supports the channel. Now, let's talk transfers. And you know, it's big up to you, Andre, who says Switzerland lost to this. Big up cold Palmer is what Andre says. Bro, here's the thing. You know, Switzerland is definitely a team that I wanted to do well this competition. I don't know if, you know, the Swiss guys are here in the chat, but they'll tell you, bro, we were definitely, I think this whole channel was rooting for Switzerland against England. But, you know, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. It just didn't happen. You know, commiserations to you and Matthew and Sidi and all the Swiss people who watched us all competition long, man. Commiserations to you guys. But Switzerland definitely did themselves proud. So, back to transfers, back to the Premier League. The Premier League is about to start probably in just over a month's time. So it's almost here. And, you know, there are teams that are cooking. There are teams that haven't cooked shit yet. Man United ain't cooked nothing. Arsenal ain't cooked nothing. Liverpool ain't cooked nothing. You know, the Red Cartel, if you would like, haven't cooked anything. Chelsea have signed, you know, a bunch of kids and, you know, 3-4, you know, 3-4 kids that no one knows about. Tottenham are crap anyway, so, you know, no one gives a shit about them. And this is the English Premier League summarized, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, it's funny because every day I wake up, I see Danny Olmo linked to a new club. Danny Olmo this, Danny Olmo that. Something that will never ever change in football is something called international football tax. People will always watch international football and want to sign players, even though international football is not a measuring stick. Big up to Andre for the super chat. But one guy I'm going to call out is Albert. Because Albert comes on every halftime show and tells me a player that they want to sign. Every single halftime show, there is someone that Albert wants to sign. There is someone that Albert wants to, you know, bring to the table. There is someone that Albert wants to you know, put in the team. And this is just the reality of the situation. International football should never ever be a measuring stick for who you want to buy and who you don't want to buy. I'll give you a prime example. Write one in the chat right now if you're taking Kylian Mbappe in your team. Write the number one right now if you're taking Kylian Mbappe in your team. Right now. Write number one if you're taking Kylian Mbappe in your team. Everyone in the chat should be writing number one because Kylian Mbappe starts for every single team in world football. Kylian Mbappe also has one Euro goal and it's a penalty. He also has one Euro goal and it's a penalty. That's who Kylian Mbappe is in this competition. Yet everyone's taking him. Would you take Camavinga at your club? Would you take Chouameni at your club? Would you take Bernardo Silva at your club? Would you take Diego Jota at your club? I could go on and on and on and on and on. Xavi Simons? Anyone interested in him? There is many players who didn't have the best of competitions, yet everyone is taking them at their club. Doesn't that show you that everything wrong with football modern fans like Albert, even though he's not even modern, is you watch one game of football and you look at a player and suddenly you want him? I don't want Danny Olmo at Liverpool. Yes, my opinion of a player will not change because of an international competition, whether it be good or bad. You want me to go through names of players? Diego Forlan, 5-star for Uruguay. Okay at club level. Muslera, 5-star for Uruguay. I could go on and on and on and on. I could go on and on and on and on with players who performed so well for their national teams. We did that after the 2002 World Cup. You know who we signed? El Haj Diouf. If you want a more modern example, we can go with the player who cooked in the World Cup in Brazil, James Rodriguez. He's played for Everton, he's played in Qatar, he's played in all these clubs. And I'm not slandering Uncle Albert, but the problem with people is every single time they just want to sign players based on international competition performances. Ask Arsenal fans about Lucas Podolski. Was he worth it at the end? Miroslav Klose. Was he worth it at the end? No. Who signed Miroslav Klose? Fiorentina? This is the problem. We cannot rate players based on international competitions. And for me, if you ask me right now, would I take Dani Olmo at Liverpool? The answer is still no. I'm not taking Dani Olmo at Liverpool. I'm not. I really am not. Because I don't think Dani Olmo moves the needle to the point where I want him to sign for Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, Lazio, sorry. It was Lazio, not Fiorentina. I was close. That's the thing. I'm not taking Olmo at my football club. I don't want him. I don't think Olmo's that good. And by the way, I don't even think Dani Olmo would suit the way that Liverpool play. We don't need a Dani Olmo at all. At all, we don't need Dani Olmo. We need a DM, if anything. You know, in a hypothetical dream scenario, if I were to go with the DM that I want at my football club, it would be Rodri, obviously, but he plays for City. I would not take a single player who did well at the Euros or didn't do well and then go and say, yes, I want him because he did well. No, I don't want him because he didn't do well. That's what the likes of Albert does. He comes here. I spent the whole summer telling you guys that I want Kvaratskhelia at Liverpool. I spent the whole summer telling you that I want Kvara at Liverpool. All of you guys. All of you guys. All it took was for a couple of good Georgia performances, and then Albert comes on the halftime show. Let's sign Kvaratskhelia. He's better than Diaz. Yeah, but all the year, you weren't hearing me. People think Kvaratskhelia had a bad year. The guy had 17 GA in 34 games for a Napoli side that finished in 10th place. We employ Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz. Anyone watch the Copa America final yesterday? Anyone watch the Copa America final yesterday? By the way, Mr. Link, I see you in the chat. What a Copa America final for Darwin Núñez. Did you guys watch the Copa America final? Did you guys watch the Copa America final? Did you guys watch it? I'm just asking you guys a question. Why is everyone mad in the chat? Did you guys watch? Did you guys watch or no? I'm just asking a question.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Did you guys watch it?
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Luis Diaz, yeah? I think I'll be honest with you. I genuinely believe Luis Diaz is the most overrated player probably in world football at this point because there's people who actually think he's good, bro. There's people who actually think Luis Diaz is good, and that's the most pathetic thing about modern day fans. And you know, yesterday I was speaking to one of the top Reds, and we were having a conversation. I told him something. I'm like, you know, we're actually a lot more similar than you think. We're a lot more similar than you think. A lot more similar than you think. I just say things more harshly. So I'm going to say it as nice as possible. Me and Luis Diaz's dad share the same exact dream. Me and Luis Diaz's dad share the same exact dream. Him not playing for Liverpool Football Club. And you know what's ruined this sport more than GA merchants? Aesthetic merchants have actually ruined the sport more. Because in an aesthetic merchant's mind, if you look good, you're good. If you look good, you're good. That's it. Mescu un club. Vamos Barça. Visca Barça. Come get your boy. Come get the boy. Hope we sign Julian Alvarez. Big up Hussam is what Morshin says. What? Is there a link to Julian Alvarez or something? Why would you say that, Morshin? Is there a link to Julian Alvarez or something? Is there a link to him that I'm unaware of? Let me know. Albert says, I watched it. I need a link to rebuttal your slander. Albert, how much price tag should I put on your head top? How much price tag should I put on Uncle Albert joining the stream? Put ones in the chat if you want me to send the link to Albert. Give me a fair price tag of a super chat to get Albert on the stream right now. Give me. First of all, write one if you want him here, and then give me a number, Albert. Since you think this is slander, this guy every halftime show, sign this guy, sign that guy. Okay, everyone wants Albert on. Perfect. What price tag should I put on Albert? You know what? I'm not even gonna say 50. I'm not even gonna say anything crazy. 25. 25 British pounds. Convert to your local currency. I'll send the link to Albert so he can come fight me. 25 British pounds. That's it. Convert to your local currency. Give Diaz time. He didn't hit his prime yet. Give Diaz time. He is literally 28 years old. He is 28, you absolute clown. Messi FC, sometimes I don't miss you, man. Sometimes I don't miss you. Thank you for the super chat and shit, but I just don't miss you. I just don't miss you. I said he didn't hit his prime. Brother is 28. Brother is 28. Fucking mad. Fucking mad. Anyway, 25 piece GBP, and we bring on Albert. Convert to your local currency. So, when talking about international players and the hype, but I'll allow you guys to do it together if you want as well. When you bring to the conversation, to the table, players who perform well on the international stage, and you sign them, you could go get James Rodriguez. And I hope the same happens to Barcelona or other clubs. You know, watch Luis Diaz and like, wow, Luis Diaz, you know? Luis Diaz is fantastic. علاء الدين النجار. Are you from Lebanon, حبيبي? النجار is a famous Lebanese family. I think, if I'm not mistaken. They are a Lebanese family. Okay, this $5 contributed right here. You gave us a clue last week and said 115, so I guessed. Just trying, bro. Who would your unrealistic signing be? Big up Albert. I'm gonna add this to the Get Albert On fund. Unrealistic signing. I mean, I would still take Lautaro Martinez at Liverpool Football Club. It's funny because you all don't want to judge footballers based on, you want to judge footballers based on international competitions, but you don't want to sign the Copa America top goal scorer. It's crazy. Unrealistic signing, I'd say Lautaro Martinez. I'd like him. I'd like Mbappe. I'd like Musiala. There's many unrealistic signings. I'd take Rudiger at Liverpool tomorrow. No, but those are not unrealistic. Did you see the Martinez finish yesterday, Clips? You know Nunes would have injured his ankle trying to go for that finish. Damn, Albert, they don't love you enough to get 20 piece up in here? That's crazy. That's crazy. Big up my guy Benito who says, Hamza can hold that with the rest of the Brexit merchants. Albert Fund. Okay, so now we have 7 plus 5. That's $13. How much is that in GBP? That's £10. We're £15 away. Let's go. I mean, it's funny. Hamza yesterday was on his knees fighting for all the City players. He was fighting for all the City players, yet they were all bums. There isn't a single City player that actually performed well. There isn't a single City player that performed well this whole for England, I mean. So yeah. انت اردني علاء الدين؟ يا هلا بالغالي، يا هلا. طب ما تكتب بالعربي ما دامك بالاردن. هلا والله بنيتو. So now we are officially, as of the second, 15 quid away. We get the 15 quid, we bring Albert on. And then he can quote unquote cook me. So back to the subject of international football players. The problem. Oh my God, I'm not even going to address that. Someone making it about Kuti again. The problem with international football is it should never ever be the measuring stick of a successful footballer or a good footballer or a footballer that's elite or a footballer that's bad or whatever it is. Like Phil Foden is prime example. I think he's probably underperformed his level the most out of any player in this whole Euros. And I think most people would be fair to say would take Phil Foden and their football club. This is just a fact. Like most people would take Phil Foden and their football club, and that's just the reality of the situation. Big up Benito, Messi FC, Albert Morshin, and Andre for the super chats. We are 15 quid away from getting Albert on to quote defend his, the slander. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. So, we have to start looking at the totality. Now, Danny Olmo, to be fair, he'd do good in Liverpool, but I wouldn't take him. Like he's not life changing. I'll tell you who I want. I want Ait Nouri, Ederson, Lukeba, and a forward. That's who I want. Do we get them all? I don't know. Messi FC, big up to you. He says, remember Ochoa, the Mexican goalkeeper? I remember Guillermo Ochoa. And listen, there are so many examples, bro. There are players who literally always turned up for their nations that never, ever, ever hit those heights for their teams, ever. By the way, if this was the case, Guillermo Ochoa would have gotten like a move to like a Real Madrid or something. He'd have gotten a move to Real Madrid, or he would have gotten a move to Barcelona, or he would have gotten a move to one of those clubs, But it just never happened. It just never happened because he's just not levels. He's just not levels, That's just the reality of the situation. Bro, listen, for me, it's very simple who I want for Liverpool. It's all players who can make Liverpool better, who can make us compete, and who can make us fight. So yeah, that's just the situation. And at the end of the day, with Liverpool Football Club, I think the only worry, deadass, is literally just the speed at which we do stuff. And I think this is a perfect segue for us to talk Liverpool, since Anthony Gordon is on the thing. And it's funny because everyone's like, oh, you never talk about Liverpool. Yeah, okay, you're not here when I talk about Liverpool, so that's your problem. Big up Messi FC. Big up to Benito. Big up to Albert, Morshin, and Andre for the super chats. 15 more quid, and I bring on Albert to quote-unquote defend his name. Make sure guys are slapping the like button. Make sure guys are subscribing to This Is Football if you're ready to do so. I had no time, no time kind of aligning for me to speak to my guy over the weekend and kind of find out more about Liverpool. But my guess would be the same. We still have the same targets. Ain't shit changed. And I think perhaps we were just, we were just waiting a little bit on like the price tags and, on players coming back from the Copa America, shit like this. And I'm waiting this month. I think this month is going to be very important. I think this month is going to be very, very, very important for us. And, it's very interesting because people think I always attack other clubs, but I never keep the same energy. Boom. W's in the chat for Benito. W's in the chat for Benito. Albert, are you ready to come on? Albert, are you ready to come on right now? Here, I will send you the link since you're saying I'm slandering you. W is in the chat right now for Benito. He pulled through. Where is Albert? Albert, message me right now. So with Liverpool Football Club, I just want us to move a little bit faster. That's literally all, bro. This is literally all. And you know, it's why is selection talk about Guehi? What the hell? What a stupid question. Of course I'm taking Foden at Liverpool, man. Bro, international competition is not going to change my mind whether the guy plays well or not. I'm not taking Romero at Liverpool. I'm not. Like, that's the thing. No, we're not linked. You should have read the thing properly. What does this say? Not negotiating for Mark Guehi. Read properly next time. We're not negotiating for Mark Guehi. That's the thing. Top 5 Ballon d'Or power ranking. Rodri, Vinicius, Bellingham, Carvajal, Lautaro. That's crazy. Why is Albert not joining? Habibi Aladdin. I sent Albert the link. Benito, wallahi, I'm not scamming you. I sent him the link. But anyway, back to the topic. Here, I swear to God, I sent him the link. Right there. Back to the topic. Here's the thing, bro, when it comes to Liverpool. I just want us to move smartly this transfer window. But the one thing I'll say is I'd be very disappointed if we allow Arne Slot to make transfer decisions. I know this is something that people obsess over and people start crying and people start being mad and all that shit. But the reality is I really do not want the manager to make any transfer decisions. I genuinely do not want the manager to make any transfer decisions. I want the transfers to be made by the Edwards and the Hughes and the nerds in behind the screen. Why is Ryan calling me? I don't want that, you know. I want us to just make signings, you know, based on actually who cooks for us. You know, that's just the reality of the situation. And that's the problem for me. Like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just hope we move a little bit quicker. I really don't want the manager to get involved. I really don't want the manager to get involved in any transfer decisions. And I feel like that's actually what's brought the downfall of Liverpool over the last 3-4 years. It's funny because when we were working together as a team, if you would like, when we were working together as a team, you know, Michael Edwards brought through Mo Salah, he brought through Sadio Mane, when Jurgen Klopp wanted Brandt and Götze, obviously. And here we are, you know, Salah and Mane cooking to an umpteenth better level than the other two. And it's just the fact that managers aren't really trained to be managers anymore. Think about Ten Hag. Think about, you know, the managers, kind of like all the managers' downfall is actually their talent ID. What was Jurgen Klopp's major downfall? It wasn't tactical. It wasn't any of that shit. Because I know that dumb people, oh, it's tactical. It's all this. It's you know, it's the system and the style. Shut the fuck up. Because Nunez is missing chances for Uruguay as well. He's just shit. But that's beyond the point. When you look at the way that we played football last season, we played the Jurgen Klopp way. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just the fact that we didn't allow people who can make transfer decisions to make transfer decisions. You know, we have to allow people who know transfers to make transfer decisions. That's just the reality of the situation. But instead, we sit here and we rely on managers, and we want managers to make transfer decisions, and we want managers to come up here and, oh yes, I want Arne Slot to make transfer decisions because he's the coach. I don't give a fuck. Let him be the coach then. Let him be the coach then. I don't want him to do anything besides coach the team. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And no, absolutely not. By the way, Benito, I've called him 4 times and I've sent him the link twice. I'm so sorry. Like, thank you for the super chat. I swear to God, the guy, I don't know if he's bottled it or something. And that's why I'm prolonging this as much as I can. Can clinical finishing be coached? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't believe clinical finishing can be taught by any manager in world football. Pep can't teach it. Klopp can't teach it. Ferguson can't teach it. No one can teach clinical finishing. That is not realistic. That is not real. That is not real life. You cannot. Arteta, as good as a manager as he is, he never made Havertz clinical. Yes, Havertz had 3-4 clutch moments, but he was never quote unquote clinical. So that's the thing. So yeah. This guy spent the first 2 months of the season telling me to talk to him when he's above me in the league. And he ended up finishing 2 spots below me. This guy is not even playing Champions League football, and he's trying to flex signing players. Yes, we passed on Mickey van de Ven. He didn't pass on us, because if we called Mickey, he'd have joined us. So that's just the reality of the situation. But anyway, back to the topic. I don't think managers have good talent ID anymore. Like, I don't look at any manager and think, wow, he has such great talent ID that he should be given all the power to make transfer decisions, and he should be given all the power to. No, I don't agree with that school of thought at all. I actually really want the nerds to make the transfer decisions, and I stick by that. And my opinion on that ain't ever gonna change, and I mean ever. And I mean ever. After what Liverpool went through, I don't think I could change my mind. Albert, where the fuck are you, bro? You make Benito send a super chat to get you here and you're not even there? You're so fraudulent. People are waiting for you. Yalla, Albert. I bet you he's on some other channel or something. That guy is so fraudulent. Let me check. Wait, Man United are playing Rosenborg right now? Why no one told me? Why no one told me this? There you are. There you are. Why no one told me this? That's mad. That's mad. No, there is no Gordon news. And that's the thing, bro. Listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're going to push content out. We're going to talk. We're going to speak. And yeah. We need to get sports scientists for Diaz and Nunez if we keep them. What do you mean, Ed? We need to get sports scientists for them if we want to keep them. What exactly are we getting a sports scientist for with these two? With these two, if you want to keep them, then you have to pray. You have to pray to God. There is no other way, Habibi. You have to use prayer, Listen, with Anthony Gordon, I really think there is a bit of truth in that, but I'm not quite sure if he's the guy that we're looking at. We're looking at kind of different guys, different people we're looking at. Yeah, I think we're looking at different people, to be honest with you. Yeah, a sports scientist cannot help them. A sports scientist cannot help them. They genuinely can't. They genuinely can't, because how can you teach finishing? How can you teach composure? And it's funny because idiots like selection will blame Klopp for everything. Nunez would miss a tap and he'll go like, it's the system, it's the style. People just don't say it as it is anymore. That's the sad part. Everyone just has their favorites. But we need like finishers at the club. We need players who are good in front of goal, And if they can bring everything else, then that's I'm good with that. Gordon to replace Salah. I don't think he plays right wing though. I don't necessarily think he plays right wing. I think if we are to replace Salah, we'll probably replace him with a better quality player. I think Mo Salah stays though. Mo Salah stays. I think he probably signs an extension as well. Because Edwards loves Mo Salah. Keep that in mind whenever you want to have a Salah conversation. No, I never said Gordon is a star signing. I've never said that. I just think he's better than Diaz. Albert is letting us all down, bro. I'm tired of waiting. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Finally you're here. Why did you fucking sleep midway through people wanting you to join? Okay, guys, the fraudulent king is here. You get me? Because he wants to defend his name, apparently. Everyone, welcome Albert. Make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to This Is Football if you're ready to do so. Let's get to 200 likes. Benito, you got your wish. Messi FC, Albert, Morshin, Andre, big up for the super chats. Yes, Albert. Without getting me demonetized, what did I slander you with? Unmute yourself first, you fraud.
I am sitting in virtual Bilbao, waiting for my Ghanaian nephew to bring me the Euro trophy. And you sit there and you slander me that I want players based on international competitions. The funny thing is that most of the things you say, I agree with you. I agree with you on Lucho Diaz, that fraudulent little git who went and exposed himself in the Copa America. I watched him play every match. And then after he contributed to their loss, he was crying. And I was like, what are you crying for? Right? And then there was the other robber who has robbed a living at Liverpool for 2 years. That guy who has commanded all the brow cream in Liverpool with his fraudulent ponytail, who messed up Uruguay, missing chance after chance, sister after sister. And then, because he scored one Malam goal, one shake goal, many people are going on and on and on. Then he displays the other side of him, which I don't want to go into because it was embarrassing.
He couldn't even land the punch.
What international, because I don't want to demonetize you, what international competition does is not only exposes frauds and affirms frauds, but it also gives us an indication into players we may like Richard Rios, whom I didn't know existed. The real Colombian we should have signed, for those of you who watch the Copa America, is the little Fabinho to replace Fabinho, and his real name is Richard Rios Montoya. All things being equal, he plays for Palmeiras. He's a good player. At least you can look at him. And then there's another player that I thought was really, really good in the Euros. I had never even seen him play. I had heard of him. But yesterday, when he came on, he actually played better than Rodri.
Who?
Because Zubimendi, Martin Zubimendi, I had never seen him. I had heard I had heard K-Mac go on and on and on. Let's get Zubimendi. I didn't say anything because I didn't know much about him. I don't watch fucking Real Sociedad or wherever the hell he plays. But I saw him play and I said, this is my DM. He makes everything simple. Transition, simple. Everything simple. He doesn't behave like a snake molting, shedding his skin at springtime. Like your fucking Endo. Endo gets the ball and he starts doing a Michael Jackson. Because this is Thriller.
Someone screenshot this and send it to me, please.
Come on.
Here's the problem, Albert. When you have McAllister, someone screenshot this right now. Send it to me. Here's the thing, Albert. When you talk about a player like that, even as Zubimendi, you need to understand, why did Spain win yesterday? Because they mismatched the profiles properly. Because they had profiles of players who work together. when you have someone like a McAllister, you cannot have a Zubimendi next to him. You need someone with more of a defensive presence. That's why, for me, this goes back to the Olmo conversation that me and you had. Me and you agreed on Olmo.
I
never
agree
said
on
that
Olmo because I don't know where he's going to play.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So me and you agreed on Olmo. So Olmo wasn't even the point of the debate. I'm just explaining to the people. Watching international football should never, ever, ever be the measuring stick for signing a player. It's more about the overall thing.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. I'm not even disagreeing with you. But then,
Yeah, but when we have
whilst I'm
McAllister,
still,
explain to me
whilst
how
I'm
he would
still
work with
waiting,
Zubimendi.
I'm still waiting for my. I was talking about the DMs who could play. I'm not a coach. I'm not paying 10 million pounds to select who can play. I'm just saying I saw something new yesterday because I saw Zubimendi. You know something? Honestly, when Rodri went off, I was like, oh God, I'm cursed. I am cursed. It's going home. It is going home. I'm cursed. And then, boom, he comes on and we see something else. So all I'm saying is, if you tell me today, if you ask me today, if I had a wish, if you ask me today, will you sell Curtis Jones and Zoboslai for a bargain and get Zubimendi? I'm taking it. Right? I'm taking it. That's all I'm saying. But it gives you an affirmation. Yes, there are the exceptions, like that Moroccan, that fraudulent Moroccan who went to Manchester United. And I remember Amrabat. And I remember you were saying, I don't want Amrabat at Liverpool, and we were going to get him. But there was even another fraudulent player we were going to get because of the World Cup, and that was Mason fucking Mount. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but instead of allowing the old man to wait for his Euro trophy, which is right at the airport because I'm in virtual Bilbao, you are sitting on your program and you are fucking slandering me.
I'm not slandering you, Albert. You know I'm not slandering
because
you. Because you
didn't think I
know
was
you're
watching you.
reactionary, and as soon as you see a player have a good 45 minutes, you start imagining him in a Liverpool shirt, and you're like, I want him.
I'm not reactionary. I'm Cena.
You are.
Yeah, I'm Cena.
Zubimendi cannot play for Liverpool, Albert, because we have McAllister. They're both too similar.
No,
It didn't work.
I didn't say he can play for Liverpool. I'm talking about discoveries that I made. Another one I've forgotten. None of us knew about Calafiori. Anybody who tells me he knew about Calafiori before
I did, and you know it, and I mentioned him.
Well,
I mentioned him
because
before
that's
the
your
Yoro.
job. That's your job.
Yes, him and Scalvini and Buongiorno are three Italian defenders.
I knew about Scalvini. He came to cook us at Anfield. I knew.
Yes, Scalvini. Buongiorno is another one. He went to Napoli. He's a very good centre back.
Yes. So yes, I knew about that one too. But I didn't know about Calafiori. I actually thought Calafiori was something that you add to pizza. Okay.
Yes.
Before I saw him. So the international competition gives us indication, and what it also does is that it shows us that players like Jude Bellingham are not exactly what we say he is.
Oh, really? So you wouldn't take Jude Bellingham at Liverpool?
No, I will. But I'm saying that the hype, Phil Foden hype. I apologize.
That's another player we'd take at Liverpool who has a shit tournament.
No. Hussam,
so you wouldn't take Foden at Liverpool?
If I was playing in between KDB and Rodri, I would be boss. I'm telling you right now. If I, with my 55-year-old back, was playing in between KDB and with this guy what's his name, with Beetlejuice on my left, Rodri behind me, KDB up top, Haaland, I will be boss.
Would you rather have Kane or Nunes?
Who?
You. Would you rather have Kane or Nunes?
I'll give Nunes away for free.
but that's the point then. International tournaments are not a measuring stick, Albert. We'd all take Mbappe. He scored one penalty the whole competition.
Your brother Moin said something, right? Moin said something. Never, ever think that we cannot give away a player like Nunes or basically cut our losses on him. Because we can. And we should. Because
we should, I agree, but we won't though. That's the painful part.
That's the thing. Because for some, I know it's.
You want to know the only way we sell Nunes is if he goes to Edwards and says, "I want to leave." That's it.
Yeah, maybe it's too late or too early for you in Jordan to watch the Copa, but I watch all the Copa. It's a little late
I
here, but
watched the final and I watched like probably 3-4
right.
games. Yeah.
He did the same things he does at Liverpool. Same
Thank
things.
you. Thank
He
you.
and Diaz
Fact.
did the same
Fact.
fucking things they do. Oh man, did you see the final yesterday? Diaz, he goes round, goes left, goes right, goes left, and
Dribble,
the
dribble, dribble,
Argentine,
dribble, 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 dribble,
yes,
dribble,
I
nothing.
watching him. The Argentine players are just watching him, then they just take the ball off him. They just watch him. He dribbles, he dribbles, he dribbles, he goes, he comes, and then they just plug the ball. And then he sits down, sits on the floor. I mean, what kind of player is that?
Yeah, but
What kind of player is
here's
that?
the thing, Albert. I think international competitions sometimes show us whether players can or can't play in certain systems. I'll give you an example. We have an icon at Liverpool. His name was Steven Gerrard. Whenever he went to England, and this is something that people don't like to hear. I think Ashley Cole was the only one that actually played at his level. But Steven Gerrard always turned up in moments. He scored, I think, the only English goal like in the group stages in the World Cup in 2010. He was in the Euro 2012 team of the tournament. In 2006, he saved England's ass against Trinidad and Tobago when it was 0-0 and they were about to get embarrassed. He scored a goal and got the assist for the second goal, and then they ended up winning 2-0 towards the end. Steven Gerrard in that game. So there's players who actually perform outside of the system. So if you tell me, Hussam, the reason why I think I'm scared a little bit of wanting Phil Foden is because outside the City system, he hasn't performed. I'll be like, that's fair. I accept that. But at the same time, I think the problem with us at Liverpool, Albert, has been actually mishmashing profiles more than anything else.
Let me
And
tell
it's
you what the
probably,
problem at Liverpool is.
but let me tell you
Our
this first
owners,
before I
our
forget.
owners suck. They always
I agree.
gaslight us. Yes.
Listen, I'm more FSG up than anyone on this planet. You know this. But back to this season, us forcing McAllister, Soboslai, Curtis Jones, all these guys in the same team did not bring out the best out of anyone.
No,
And in my mind, I think you probably agree with this. Do you agree that Liverpool's best midfielder currently is McAllister? You agree with this?
absolutely. He's
Yeah,
streets ahead
same.
of
By
everybody.
the way, I think he should have won Player of the Season as well for us. So, like, I
Yes,
think, yeah. So
absolutely.
I agree. I think we need to build our midfield around McAllister. Now, when you look at
Absolutely.
McAllister, he does everything. Let's just cut the crap. We already know McAllister's profile. He does everything at the 8 out of 10 level. That's who he is. He's not an amazing dribbler or an amazing shooter or an amazing tackler. He just does everything 8 out of 10.
He's
So what does that
efficient at
mean?
everything.
I need behind him a destroyer, and I need in front of him a creator. That is all. And then
I agree with you.
he will cook. That's it.
I
So
agree
that's
with
why
you.
when someone brings me like a Danny Olmo, okay, Danny Olmo. Did anyone watch him for Leipzig? Do you know how many chances he missed? Does anyone know the fact that he actually is a little bit injury prone as well? That's another thing that people don't
He's
know about
injury
Danny
prone
Olmo.
too, yes.
So this is why I'm pushing this shit to the side with the Euros. I said before the Euros started,
the
before
only
a ball
thing
was
Daniel Mo does with us is play false nine. And I hate
yes,
false nine.
yes. They'd actually put him false nine. So
Yeah.
for me, I look at like the Euros, and I said before a ball was kicked, I said, listen, I'm not gonna change my mind on any player based on this competition. Maybe you can deduce certain things. With Jude Bellingham, I'll give you an example. As bad as Jude Bellingham was in this competition, at least we can say he gave England 2 clutch moments in which if he did not give them, they would have been at home long ago.
Earlier, I agree.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, at least sometimes certain players give you moments. They give you something,
But we
work.
also agree that England should never have been in the final. They should
Yes,
thank the
of
German
course, they should
referee.
have never been in the
They
final.
should thank the
cannot
German
disagree.
referee.
Yes,
That
yes, 100%.
criminal-minded, right collecting referee.
Yes, and Southgate is a fraud as well. And you see, by the way, Kyle Walker conceded 2 goals down his side. I thought he can defend. That's correct.
Oh, Trent can defend.
Yeah, Trent can defend apparently. Yet 2 goals happened down his exact
But
side.
you see, Hossam, in my native language in Ghana, we have a saying. It said, "Let me suck the cat, but after I suck the cat, I have to advise the fish." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Our son Trent needs to firm himself up as a fullback play that fullback like Danny Carvajal, so there is no question that he is the best fullback. This question of Trent is the best passer of the ball. Trent is the best attacking player. Trent is the best. He can hit passes. Okay, Trent, be like Manfred Kautz. Also be the best at being a fullback and defending, kicking players off the park. You see what Danny Carvajal did? Even take a red when you need to save your team. That's what we ask of Trent. Because what he has as a player, intuitively, cannot change. It's just like we engineers. To be an engineer, you need to understand that you need to be good at maths. That's if you're not good at maths, don't go to engineering class. Don't even bother.
Okay, but I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. Here's the thing. Trent is never gonna be Carvajal. And Carvajal is never going to be Trent because they're completely different right backs from completely different generations. First of all, big up to Castro, who says the sad part is Tom was riding a grown man's shoulder for no reason. Hey, I'm going to save that video too. I think you sent it to me, Castor. I'm going to play it to him on the next Osam X Tom Little. But here's the thing, Albert. Look, you look at Trent, right? And I think Trent is in the ilk of Dani Alves, Marcelo, Roberto Carlos. You're a smart man. You've watched football for a long time. You know that ever since the start of time, Albert, there's always been right backs and left backs that are more offensive, and there are ones that are more defensive. This is just natural. No one does both. I
agree.
Yes, no one does both at 10 out of 10 level. And people can waffle. Let me give you an example of a former version of a defense. Philip Lahm. Philip Lahm was very good on the ball, defensively incredible. But no one can tell me that going forward, Philip Lahm was on the level of Dani Alves. He wasn't. That's not an agenda. That's a fact. Dani Alves was much better than Philip Lahm going forward. That doesn't mean that Philip Lahm isn't a fantastic right back.
I agree.
My
but
issue is the following. My issue is the following. Right? You look at modern day football, and let's just be completely honest about this. If I line up 100 managers right now and tell them, would you rather get someone who has 100% attack, 0 defense, or 100% defense and 0 attack? Most of them are choosing the attacking guy. And that's why I defend Trent, because modern football is no longer about, the right back needs to defend. I don't accept that whatsoever. Because if Trent, let's say, and by the way, I'm not even going to exaggerate, let's say out of 10 games, Trent will get cooked twice. I'll take that. I'll take him getting cooked twice over him winning me 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games a season with a pass, with a shot, with creativity.
So I agree with you.
But you cannot ask him to be Carvajal because they're different.
No, I said try. Hossam.
No, but then can Dani Carvajal invert in midfield?
Hossam, you and I are both religious.
No, can you answer the question? Can he invert in midfield?
You can't be like the prophet, but you try. I can't be like Jesus, but I try. So all I'm saying is that, and as a team, we adjust for him. I am with you on 99% of this, because if we had a Robertson who had any sense in his head and won't go up and not come back, Trent's faux pas will not be that obvious, right? I agree with you. Like I said, you and I disagree on only 1% of things, and the 1% is that you're a Jordanian fraud, a Togolese fraud. That's what you are. Thank you. So all I'm saying is that, yes, and if you remember, I am one of the staunchest people who comes out and selling. Don't you dare tell me you are selling Trent, because it will be the stupidest thing to do to attempt to sell Trent. I mean, the most stupid thing we can do in Liverpool is to attempt to sell Trent. But like I said, that my proverb means that I love my fish, but I need to advise my fish to avoid the cat, because fish and cat don't mix. Trent needs to up his game. Trent, and he himself also needs to stop convincing himself in his mind.
But he did it this season, though, before the injury. Think of Trent before the injury, December times.
But you do
Albert, there were people saying Trent player of the season in the whole Premier League.
Trent sees himself. Yes, but he's easily player of the league if he sets his mind to being a fullback, overlapping and underlapping the wingers, instead of that stupid DM that he wants to play.
Yeah, but that's systematic. That's what Klopp asked him to do, which is invert.
Yeah, I don't want him to invert, bro. I just don't like to say it.
See, now we will disagree even more because
No,
I
don't
actually
like that
think
shit.
Trent inverted with McAllister next to him and a destroyer behind them. You can break down any low block like this. Like this, you can break down a low block. Which
Okay,
low block can stop you if you have those three?
let's do halfways. Let's do halfways. Let's
Yeah, but then
agree
that
that
means we need to
let's
find a
agree
center
that
back at left back.
I agree. How many am I not an advocate of the 4 center back play? I even want 4, but I will do with 3 because arithmetically defending 68 yards between 2 people in defensive transition is murder. That's why we have turned Konate into a fruitcake. So yes, I look. I'm one of the people who wants Robbo.
That's why I wanted Calafiori, to be honest, because he could play left back.
Yes, Robbo sold or given away for free in a yard sale because and talking about what international football does. International football exposed Robertson. He was the worst player in the whole of the Euros. Absolutely wooden spoon level, right? That guy, wooden spoon for me. So all that talk of his passion and fuck it, he doesn't know shit.
I'm so glad me and you agree on Robertson.
Robertson.
Oh, that one, God. It's like, people from the outside looking, they're like, oh, Robertson is a solid left back, but there is nothing special about him whatsoever.
You know the day I gave up on him? You remember when we were spunked 4-1 at Etihad? Remember we went in 1-0 up and we were all like, we got this. As 2 minutes after we came back, he rushed up. The ball was taken from him. He didn't come back. And you were standing there when the ball was gone.
This is true. By the way, Robertson gets cooked defensively and does nothing going forward.
Yes,
that's why he's a problem.
You gotta leave. And then he gives away stupid goals. Remember the goal he gave away against Brighton? Just stood there 5 minutes before the end, the free kick. He went and stood there and he guided the ball into the net. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Robertson is definitely he's done out here.
So whatever it is that we think we are doing, look, Hussam.
Or we can do the reverse, by the way, because what they're saying is slot inverts both right back and left back. That's why Ait Nouri makes sense. Then you control any midfield in the league.
I love Ait Nouri. The question is, are we going to play? I love Ait Nouri. Even if I don't love him, he's Algerian. That's good enough for me.
Big up Algerians in the chat. Big up.
Yeah, he's Algerian. This is Africa prop, man. We want more African and Arab players in the EPL. We don't want anybody to tell us AFCON destroys players. AFCON makes players, man. I love Ait Nouri. But he could have been playing for France, right?
Yeah. He played for France under 21s, I think. I think so. But anyway, the overarching point of me calling out Albert and the fact that the thing that made him join is when I said, investing in player stocks based on international competitions. And that's for me where I genuinely because it's funny, people don't do the reverse. I want Lautaro Martinez as an example. I want him because of what he does at Inter Milan. He then wins the Copa America top goal scorer. No one comes here and says, yo, we should sign Lautaro Martinez. That's the thing that I just don't get. It's kind of like for whichever players they like. Can you imagine Darwin Núñez was through on goal yesterday? Argentina against Colombia. Imagine Darwin Núñez was through on goal. That game would have gone to penalties right away. It would have gone to penalties. That's the difference between Lautaro Martinez
that guy is a fraud. He is an absolute fraud. And in order for him not to get cooked, he picked up fights with supporters who were nowhere near his family. I don't want to talk about this thing, but I thought his behavior was totally outrageous. Why do you throw a chair into the crowd if you are protecting your family? But I'm sure you hear from the people he needs to hear from.
It's funny though, still people defend him, which I just don't get. And the same people will say sell Mo Salah. The same exact people that defend Núñez will say sell Mo Salah, which for me, it's just, I'd rather keep Mo Salah and sell both.
Another really dumb decision. And who's going to come and play there? Bakayoko? Fucking Bakayoko? Who else?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Or are we gonna promote Harvey Elliott? Or who? Who are we going to promote?
Harvey Elliott is definitely not a Liverpool winger. He doesn't have enough pace.
Ben Doak.
You know, it's funny.
I mean,
People say
we're just
Martinez is
jokers, man.
wasteful. Here's the thing: you call Martinez wasteful, he misses chances, but he scores a lot of goals. Erling Haaland misses chances, but he scores a lot of goals.
Look, Hussam, Liverpool supporters, and you and I are both Liverpool supporters, have absolutely no business, zero business talking about any striker who misses chances. Go and deal with your home matter first. Your home matter. That donkey you have as a center wearing the 9 jersey. Let's deal with him first. We have absolutely no business. None. Zero. You know something?
He cost Uruguay anyway in the last game. He didn't score the goal.
Nunes was bought at the same time as Haaland was bought. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nunes has scored 28 goals, or is it 27? 28 goals. Haaland has scored 66. Haaland was bought for 52 million pounds. Nunes was bought for 85 million pounds. You know?
Hey.
And Klopp should give his head a wobble on that thing, because that was a terrible moment in his decision making.
You know, if I could go back in time and change one thing, obviously Liverpool fans will say the slip, and I would change that, of course. But the second thing I'd change is I would draw someone other than Benfica. I would draw someone other than Benfica, so Nunes never plays against us. The only reason why we signed that guy is literally because he scored 2 goals against us. There is no other reason why we signed him. I'd go fix the draw. I'd ask them to draw us against anyone else other than Benfica, you know, just so we don't play Darwin Nunes. But hey,
and you know, Hussam, you know they are trying to do another fraud on us, right? Sell us João Neves for 120 million euros. Right?
João Neves, whoever pays that much money for him, everyone remember what I said. He's not worth
should be slapped up the head side
he's not worth that much money at all. João Neves ain't even that good. He's just okay right now.
The thing is, Usman, the most important thing is the kid is 19 years old, so he's not even fully grown. So why would you throw 120 million on a player who could go and meet Brentwaite and break his leg in an instant, right? He goes in for a crunch tackle with Rodri and comes out holding his leg. He goes in for a crunch tackle with Thomas Partey and comes out holding his head. Why would you want to do that? 120 million euro when you can get Ederson for 40 million, when you can get Zubimendi for 50 something. You get all kinds of this Richard Rios guy. What a player! What a fucking player!
I'll give you a transfer window right now. Tell me if you'll take it. Ait Nouri, Lukeba, Ederson, and a forward.
I'm taking all three as long as we are selling Luis Diaz. I'm taking all of them.
You know the one thing that worries me, and this is where I'll actually cook Hughes and Edwards. They cannot price Luis Diaz out of a move. Deep down, we know he wants to leave, but we cannot be asking for no 60, 70 million for him because no one's going to pay that shit.
No, we can't. Listen, the reason why Luis Diaz wants to leave is that Liverpool will not up his wages. He earns 55k. He knows that the people around him earn a lot more. He wants more money. All this noise is for more money. And Liverpool are not doing it because they know he's useless. So
yeah, and he don't deserve it anyway, to be honest.
Right. And you know, somebody, who was it that was talking? Someone was talking and says,
another screenshot for the people to send me. Send me the screenshot right now.
Why don't we bring him back into the like a midfield role, say in a 3, bring Luis Diaz back in the midfield role, then he has no
Diaz in midfield.
Well, somebody said it, and I said, look, that the problem is not about midfield, or the guy is not Liverpool standard player. Get him the fuck out of our club. That's it. That guy.
Did someone actually say Diaz in midfield role?
He can be playing for Wolves. The person said on the left side of the midfield behind Gakpo. So he sweeps up behind Gakpo. And I said he's not going to do that. He's going to see himself as a forward. That guy is a Wolves player. He's a Fulham player. He's named them. He doesn't get beyond Spurs on the table.
I'll be honest with you. He's no better than Alex Iwobi. I'm not even exaggerating.
Alex Iwobi is better than him. Alex Iwobi is better than him. Don't even slander Alex.
Hey, Lewis, my brother.
Don't slander my African players, man.
Listen, Lewis, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you.
You know his counterpart when it comes to uselessness. The guy that Newcastle sacked, say Maximan.
Yes.
That guy is a Colombian Saint Maxima, right?
I
His
think that's
partner.
fair. I think that's
You
fair.
know his Africa. You know his African partner, Yannick Bolasie. He's Yannick Bolasie.
I remember Yannick Bolasie as well.
He's Yannick Bolasie. No fucking end product. He dribbles the whole park. Has no fucking end
Already.
product. He has no fucking end product. Yannick
He does.
Bolasie. Yes.
He does.
So you can call him Colombian Bolasie or you can call him Colombian San Maximan. He is completely useless and hapless. Look, I watched him yesterday in the final, and I was like, I hope Hussam is not watching this, man.
I watched it. And it's funny because people are like, you know, Lewis, I'm gonna see Lewis later on. I'm gonna see Lewis later on A-listers,
And then he ended up crying. You know the worst bit? He ended up crying. I was like, what the fuck were you crying for?
No, 1 second, Albert. Let me tell you one thing. Like, you know, it's funny in the Copa America. I swear Uruguay played like Panama in the first game or someone like that. And Colombia as well had an opponent. Nunes scored in the first game and Diaz scored in the first game as well for Colombia. And then people came in my chat, let your apologies be as loud as your disrespect. Apologize right now. And then Diaz and Nunes proceeded to do exactly what they do for Liverpool at their national teams. Diaz proceeded to dribble and Nunes proceeded to miss chances. That's the fucking funny part. But yeah, it is what it is anyway. Listen, big up to Uncle for joining us. I want to wrap it up here. I don't want to keep the stream going too long. Benito,
Yes.
big up to you.
I'm still waiting for my trophy. I'm in virtual Bilbao. I'm at the beach with some beautiful girls in sarong skirts. We are waiting for Nico to bring our trophy. I'm waiting for Nico. So
big up to Nico Williams.
Based on what you saw of Nico Williams, if Liverpool triggered his clause, are you taking him or not?
Here's the thing. Okay, I'll tell you the difference. I said Nico Williams, I don't think is a good, like, unbelievable player. Okay, I said that, and I stick by that. I don't think he's unbelievable. However, what have me and you been saying? We employ Luis Diaz, and
exactly.
Nico Williams is only 21. So Nico Williams can get better. Luis Diaz is 28.
You can teach him something. And guess what else I saw?
Yeah, but Luis Diaz is 28. This is who he is. You ain't going to teach him shit.
Hussam, even if Luis Diaz was 10, you can't teach him anything. Forget that guy. We've given him his time. But you know what else I saw in Nico Williams? Did you realize that apart from him being able to go and play on the right, switch to the right, he can actually be an inside forward if he needs to?
Yes.
Did you realize that?
I can't lie. I underestimated the fact that he had 11 assists. I think that's the thing as well that impressed me.
So he actually has, and I think because of the team he plays for, if he goes to a better team, this guy is bad news. And I look, like I said, Phil fucking Foden plays between KDB and Rodri. Anybody who plays with Rodri looks good. And if Rodri is not given the Ballon d'Or, I am going to stage a one-man naked demonstration at the Ballon d'Or Awards.
Okay. Yes. Listen, and on that note, we're going to end the stream here. Big up to all of you guys. Make sure you guys are slapping the like button.
You know, end the stream before I show you what I need.
Yes. No. Benito, you got your money's worth. Big up to Messi FC, Morcin, Andre, Casper.
Big up to all of you, man.
Big up to all of you guys. Like the video, subscribe. I'll see you guys back later on A-listers, inshallah.
Hey, Sam, let me tell you something funny.